So this week, a trailer for the X-Men 97 animated series just dropped, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's coming to Disney Plus.
Very excited.
Oh, excited as fuck, right? The nostalgia from my childhood just woo. Yes.
Gambit charging Wolverine's claws.
Dog. Woo, that was the coolest fucking shit. They're about to wreck some shit. But
they got excited, bro.
Yeah. Basically, right. For those who are familiar, it is a continuation of the X-Men animated series from the 90s. It picks up where that series left off, where Professor X died, and they're taking things from there. And basically, there's a mutant on there named Morph, and his power as a mutant is that he could shapeshift. And they announced in the reboot, the writers behind this series, they announced in the reboot that he is going to be non-binary. And so, if I say those words, we all know as expected, there's going to be a bunch of crybabies.
Was everyone like super excited about that, Tyler?
oh, buddy, let me tell you. Right. So, when that news dropped, like I said, we all know there were a bunch of bitches, bitching and moaning about that. So those are my doogie butts of the week. And I want to have a conversation here that's like a bit bigger than these people just crying about this particular X-Men character, because I think the discussion to be had is a bit bigger than that, because the same crowd who's like complaining about this, these motherfuckers are repeat offenders, right? Like there's a script here. And
yeah, the Morph being non-binary in the X-Men 97 relaunch is not your gateway drug into complaining about. Yeah.
Exactly that, right? And so because like whenever something like this happens, it's always the same fucking crowd of like racist, bigoted motherfuckers crying about how such and such has gone woke. And it baffles me that these dumb motherfuckers think that a show in a comic like X-Men, whose entire premise, right, was like an allegory on how we as a society have to fight discrimination and intolerance and bigotry, even when like this bigotry is weaponized by religion, even when it's substantiated by pseudoscience, even when it's endorsed by our government, and they're like, oh, X-Men has suddenly, quote unquote, gone woke. Motherfucker, it was always woke, right? And while we're here on this woke shit, we need to discuss how like these racist motherfuckers have just gentrified like the whole fucking woke term, because the irony there is crazy. Basically, before these racist motherfuckers gentrified that shit, woke meant, hey, bruh, like you got to seek out and know the truth, because these racist motherfuckers will lie and distort the hell out of that shit, right? And that's exactly what these motherfuckers did when they repurposed that term, right? They stripped it of its original meaning and basically made it mean like to represent something that doesn't center white and or straight people, and especially white straight people, right? Like that's all woke fucking means. Woke means, oh, this has brown people in it, this is woke, or oh, this has gay people in it, this is woke. Right. These are the most ridiculous motherfuckers on the planet. And these are people who believe that like progressiveness is like a fairly new phenomenon. They're the same motherfuckers who were shocked that the music Rage Against the Machine was making 30 years ago was anti-Republican. Right. Like, which is why I do not believe in seriously engaging with these people, because they are not coming from a place of good faith. They are not coming from a place of trying to foster dialogue, foster conversation. They are coming from a place of trying to suppress people, trying to silence people. And people like that, bro, you just need to tell them to go fuck off. You don't have genuine good faith conversations with those people like that. Like a common refrain that we always hear from that crowd is shit like this, right? Like I don't mind black people in my storylines. I don't mind gay people in my storylines, but just make it make sense, right? Like don't shoehorn it there just to shoehorn it there. Okay. Well, with this particular instance, we have Morph, who is a shapeshifter, right? So it logically makes sense. It checks out in the most sensible way that a shapeshifter would be someone who doesn't feel any type of allegiance to any particular gender, right? So but still, they're still bitching and complaining, right? And there will always be something with those people, which is why I say do not engage in good faith with these people, because they're not coming from a place of good faith. And then I saw the whole goalpost move with the shit where they were like, well, non-binary wasn't really a term back in 1997. so this really isn't historically accurate, blah, 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 blah. Bro, non-binary people have always existed in a way where we just might not have called them non-binary. That might be a fairly recent term in like the cultural zeitgeist, but Mike, you're a comic fanatic.
Yeah.
You know 70s, 80s Storm.
Yes.
Right? She was, with her mohawk, with her biker
Mohawk
gear.
Storm. Yep.
Right? Androgynous as fuck. That's what we were calling non-binary people back then, right? Androgynous. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And a big
David
part
Bowie.
of right. A big part of like comic book lore is that Storm was modeled after Grace Jones, who was a fucking androgynous icon 50 fucking years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say this, that these are very silly fights that this crowd chooses to pick, right?
Yeah.
Like the X-Men characters, Black Little Mermaids. They're silly fights, but they're very sinister motives behind them.
Yeah.
And we do not owe these people the courtesies of trying to engage with them in good faith, because that's not what they're here for. They're not upset that there's a Black Little Mermaid in the Disney universe. They're not upset that there's a non-binary
They're upset that Black
person.
people exist.
Exactly.
Yes.
They're upset that Black people exist. They're upset that non-straight people exist. And we do not need to fucking grant these people the courtesies of having genuine conversations with them. We just need to tell these people to fuck off. That's all we need to do. And it's kind of fitting that this happens on what would have been Toni Morrison's birthday, because, Toni Morrison has an incredible quote, and we've all discussed how big of fans we are of Toni Morrison on here. She has an incredible quote of how, like, the purpose of racism is to keep having you explain. They will always move the goalpost. It will have you, people say that Black people aren't aren't as smart as white people, so you conduct scientific surveys to prove them wrong and shit. But it's like, bro, don't engage in a place that comes from good faith, because these motherfuckers are not coming from a place of good faith with this. And that's all I'm saying here. It's like, bro, tell these motherfuckers they're stupid. You can back your claims up that these motherfuckers are stupid with facts. But as far as trying to engage with them and convert them,
yes,
that's a lost cause, because these are not people who you want on your fucking side anyway. Fuck them.
They are people who, to use one of my mom's favorite terms, they're too stupid to live. Like
hey, that's
your mom might be really one on the, that's some real shit, nigga.
Just too stupid,
real nigga.
Just too stupid to live. The X-Men were created as a way of discussing the civil rights movement that Stan Lee was super interested in comic books. Like,
yes.
Professor X and Magneto are consciously an allegory for the different paths to mainstream societal acceptance that Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X had. Like,
right.
That was the foundation of the comic book. Like, so
like, bro,
the X-Men are providing a commentary on social issues now.
Like, what happened to my childhood, bro? Something that is a common. Okay. For one, most X-Men are young as shit, right? Charles Xavier School is a school for gifted youth. Most of these mutants
they get their powers at puberty. Yes.
Right. Like, they're usually teenagers. If you're fucking 25, you're an elder statesman in this shit, right? Like, Cyclops is like the leader, and that motherfucker's like 25, 26, right? And Wolverine's like fucking 400 years old, but that's a whole other story.
Right.
But, like, there is such a common recurring theme with mutants and X-Men where they either know they're a mutant and they suppress it, and then there's a moment where it gets away from them and it's revealed to other people around them that they're a mutant, or they do not know they're a mutant, and that, there's a moment where their mutant powers kind of come to the surface around other people, and their friends, their family, their loved ones turn their back on them. Right. And they're like, you loved me before you knew who I was fully. Why do you not love me now? Like, if you don't see that is an allegory against homophobia, how much fucking harder do we need to hit you over the head with that? You know what I'm saying?
I have had Black friends and gay friends talk about how moving the story where there was the quote unquote cure for the X gene, and that there were characters who were choosing to take it because they were like, I just want my life to be easier.
Right.
And they were like, fuck. Like, that's my worst impulse about myself. You know what I mean? To allow what the society feels to have caused me to hate myself. Like, and again, that's why it's a lasting cartoon, because it's not just empty calories like the fucking All-Star game. It's like, There was
Right.
there was actually like emotions you could put your own life onto in that show and in the comics and everything. Anyway,
it's not Captain America and Black Planet and Black Panther fighting a 10-foot tall purple alien, right? It is these people fighting, like I said, bigotry that is sanctioned by religion, bigotry that is sanctioned by pseudoscience, bigotry that is sanctioned by the government, and we see that in real fucking life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I like I said, these people have this fucking notion where, like I said, they think that progressivism is something new, but
because
they were
too stupid as kids to understand that Rage Against the Machine didn't like the machine. Like,
yeah, it's in the fucking name, bro. What you think the machine is, motherfucker? Yeah.
Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers who deposit $5 or more can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 back in a bonus bet.
Bron and the Lakers are looking a little better, so I'm excited to see how they do coming out of All-Star break with some big games against the Warriors and the Suns coming up.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jenkins. New customers can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code Jenkins, Jenkins. The crown is yours.